Close your eyes and picture for a moment the second most fatal neurodegenerative disease,
with 1 in 4 cases misdiagnosed,
and 10 million cases worldwide,
causing severe pain for the elderly,
and not to mention a lifetime of anxiety and worry.
as well as a great debt.
Now, while this may seem like a fiction to some,
For those very 10 million people worldwide, it is nothing other than a reality.
This is Parkinson's disease.
My name is Rithik Duvva.
my name is Sharv Save.
And my name is Pulkith Paruchuri.
And we are Parkin-Sense, a novel business venture that offers contactless,
Non-invasive,
accurate,
An affordable diagnosis of Parkinson's disease globally.
there's no definitive way to diagnose Parkinson's in a patient currently. As a result, misdiagnosis rates are especially high in Parkinson's disease, as up to 30% of patients are misdiagnosed. This is because current methods of diagnosis rely largely on questionnaires, which are highly inaccurate and subjective, and DAT scans, whose problems will be explained in just a minute.
Having the burden of Parkinson's disease doesn't just stress one physically. The financial burden of treatment, diagnosis, certain devices, and many other expenses is no dismissible matter. Current medical diagnosis tests of Parkinson's disease can cost upwards of $4,000 each, and most of this cost is not covered by Medicare. Additionally, diagnosis results often take weeks to arrive.
the most prominent treatment technology used by just about every hospital for Parkinson's diagnosis, and one of our largest competitors, costs around $3,500, and is the DAT scan, which is able to analyze the dopamine deficit in the brain that leads to Parkinson's disease. It achieves diagnosis by injecting a radioactive chemical into a patient's nervous system that binds to dopamine transmitters in the brain, which is then analyzed by using a SPECT scanner, all for just a 38% accuracy rate. It does seem appalling, as no one should desire such a treatment for their grandmothers, rather invasive, quite ineffective, and definitely not worth the risks.
However, some companies have already attempted to remedy this issue by introducing online and contactless forms of diagnosis. However, the vast majority of them suffer high levels of inaccuracy due to them being unimodal, or analyze only one symptom such as gait or handwriting. This is because oftentimes this one single symptom is absent from a Parkinson's patient or may be related to a different disease. Parkin-Sense, on the other hand, utilizes multimodal learning coupled with non-parallel transfer learning to analyze multiple types of symptoms for diagnosis. This addresses the problems of misdiagnosis and accuracy because all three of the symptoms are rarely, if ever, absent in a Parkinson's patient.
Parkin-Sense acts as a solution to all of these problems. It is affordable and contactless, unlike the DAT scan, and since it is a website, it can be used anywhere in the world, given you have internet connection. It analyzes multiple modalities so that it is much more accurate than any other public method of diagnosis. Since it uses machine learning to accomplish its tasks, it is able to often see things too small for the naked eye, making it more accurate than clinical diagnosis tests. Finally, it is able to return results in under 5 minutes, guaranteeing a rapid diagnosis. Parkinson's utilizes a subscription model. Originally, the customer is given a diagnosis as a free trial. The subscription-based service will create a symbiotic business-customer relationship due to how the user is able to cancel their subscription at any time, and Parkinson's receives stable monthly payments per user via the subscription. Businesses such as hospitals and retirement homes will also be able to subscribe to Parkin-Sense, and we offer a number of benefits, such as individual deployment endpoints to these customers.
The specific market that Parkin-Sense is trying to reach is the diagnosis technology market, which falls under the overall medical technology market. This industry overall was valued to be $459 billion in 2020 and is expected to reach over $600 billion by 2023. The specific medium by which Parkin-Sense will perform diagnosis is AI, artificial intelligence. This market size was roughly $500 million in 2020, but with prospects of drastic growth to $5.37 billion in 2028, an estimated CAGR value, compound annualized growth rate value, of 33%.
Given the development of more and more streamlined online resources, allowing for developers to bring costs to a minimum, the entire development of Parkin-Sense, including marketing, is able to be accomplished for a total of $7,927 monthly for the first year. While this does sound costly at first, the service is priced at $49.99 monthly, which means in order to break even, Parkin-Sense has to have only 159 monthly users, which is quite low and easily sustainable. Realistically, our estimates of 1,000 users in the first year already sets us at an extremely high profit margin and generate $62.56 in profit, and this growth outpaces the cost in the later years.
We actually have a demo site that showcases how Parkin-Sense will work. Once the user navigates to the site, they are brought to the landing page from which they can view all of Parkin-Sense's feature as well as their diagnosis. From here, you'll be asked to sign in, after which they can view the diagnosis page, where the user is briefed on some tips before taking the diagnosis, and they're prompted with a video and microphone output so they can align themselves and position themselves to make sure all their tools are working properly. Once they're ready to begin, they will simply press Begin Diagnosis, and it will start. Here, they will be asked to read a paragraph of random text out loud for 60 seconds. While Pulkith does the analysis, it would be a good time to go over some of the technical details of Parkin-Sense.
Parkin-Sense uses some of the latest technologies to date. It is built on top of Google's TensorFlow and Keras that have been highly optimized over the past few years. This allows it to be both greatly accurate and reliable. The model is able to analyze 3 different symptoms: voice irregularities, facial cues, and eye movement. The user is asked to read out loud a few paragraphs of text, such as what Pulkith is doing on screen, while their face, eyes, and voice are being recorded. Their face is extracted via Google's MobileNet V2, which you can see in action with the yellow box around the face on the sidebar. Similarly, the eyes are extracted with MIT's WebGazer.
Looks like Pulkith is just about done. Once he's complete, he will be brought to this new page where his results are being calculated. This may take up to 5 minutes. In the meanwhile, let's talk about how the results are analyzed.
At the end of this diagnosis, all of the face, eye, and audio will be analyzed. Each symptom uses a different classifier. The audio uses gradient boosted classifier, the eye movement uses a support vector machine recursive feature elimination, and the facial cues use a support vector machine. The results from these 3 classifiers are combined using a novel but highly accurate algorithm invented just a few years ago, non-parallel transfer learning. These algorithms are not only highly efficient, but also quite accurate as well, which therefore reduces the number of misdiagnoses by a significant amount. The modular design in which each symptom is factored into the mode also lets us easily add or reduce modalities. As a result, we can change the symptoms we analyze if we wished, or even expand to other neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and Huntington's disease, one of the unique advantages of Parkin-Sense. The model will be deployed on an Amazon SageMaker endpoint and can be accessible via a website like the one shown here.
Once the analysis is finished, you're brought to the results page where you can see the diagnosis, which is negative in this case, and the confidence, which acts as a metric severity if the user tests positive. They're also able to see the results from each individual classifier, and then they have the option to repeat the diagnosis, download their data, and more eventually in the future. Finally, they can consent to submit their data to Parkin-Sense, where it will be used to train the model further, and allow the service to become more and more accurate over time. This is one of the most important features of Parkin-Sense that only few other services can offer.
With all this information and value that Parkin-Sense has, what is the bottom line? What does Parkin-Sense bring to the table? How will Parkin-Sense change the world?
The answer is that it doesn't alone.
What does change the world, however, is what Parkin-Sense hopes to inspire.
The events of the past 5 years, especially the COVID-19 pandemic, have brought great advancements in technology, as well as more and more problems, however.
To think even being in the same airspace as someone with COVID could cause serious harm does cause a bit of fear.
Especially in a time of economic downturns and high unemployment where some people aren't able to afford basic necessities.
Which is especially why Parkin-Sense was made to be affordable, accurate, contactless, and efficient, and to inspire people, inspire to aid in the shift to contactless medical technology, to affordable medical technology, and overall to practice what we could all use more of in such a time.
Collaboration.
Which is exactly why we decided to compete in the Conrad Challenge.
We greatly appreciate your time and thank you for providing us with the opportunity to